Hello, today I will tell you about naming conventions for variables. I will tell you also what you should avoid. So naming conventions means how you should name your variables. The first thing you should remember that you should create a variable that should be self-descriptive, which means that it should be like when you look at it, you know exactly instantly what it's gonna be used for. Okay, so when creating a variable and you call it a, it's a bad idea. Of course I used it in the last lesson, but it was just to show you how to create a variable. But you should avoid situations like that. Your variable should be self-descriptive. So if you are creating a string that will store names, you should call it name. Okay, if it's gonna store surname, call it surname. So surname Arkadiusz. The second thing you need to know is that the size of each letter matters. So if I want to change this name, I shouldn't type something like, for example, that, because it is not gonna work. As you can see, it's not working because this variable is not the same as this one. If I did something like that, I'm just gonna create another variable, right? With just starting letter, which is big. And you should also remember that you shouldn't start name of variables with big letters, because this is a convention. Variables should always start from the small case, and then if you want to have, something like name and surname, for example, right, then you should do it that way. You should, for each word, try to have the uppercase of letter. Okay, so now you can instantly see, hey, it's name and a surname instantly, right? Oh, okay. Because if you call it a, you don't know what is stored here exactly. You have to look at the value. Okay, maybe this value is very easy, but maybe this value is sent from the file and you don't know exactly what is gonna be here, right? So always try to name everything to be self-descriptive. And well, you should know that you cannot create as the name of variable, as the label of variable, you cannot use keywords, which means that you cannot do something like that in public. As you can see, it's just not working, right? You cannot use things that are reserved. Why? Because interpreter is just going one line by line and it's trying to compile it. How can he compile it when he knows that static means something totally different, right? It's not gonna work. The second thing is that you shouldn't start creating a variable from the number, so you cannot do something like that. As you can see, it's not working. You can have numbers inside, like for example here, doesn't matter, but you cannot start from the number because the compiler thinks then that you are creating a number, not a variable. And the third thing is that you cannot use spaces, so you cannot do something like that, of course, right? Because, well, it just doesn't work. There is also one more convention that you should know when you are creating a variable that is constant, which means it's final, it cannot be changed. Like for example, p, number p. So for example, when you create p like that, I'm gonna use, as you can see, big letters because it is not gonna ever change, right? It's always 3.40. So when you're looking in your program, then you know which variables are constant, final, and which aren't, which cannot be changed. And you can even say exactly, hey, I don't want this variable be changed, and you type then final before it. Because of it, when you do something like, for example, trying to change it, as you can see, we have got an error. Without the final here, as you can see, you can change pretty easy this without the final modificator. So you have just learned also what are modificators. They can modify how the variable is gonna work in your program. So let's use the final, let's leave it like that. And well, it's good idea that if you had more than one word in the final variable, to do something like that. For example, number dash p. Okay, you are not, because you are not gonna do here, for example, small case letter. You just, if you want to give a space there, you should use the underscore, because this is unreadable. This is readable pretty okay. And well, that's how you should create variables, how you should name it. Remember, self-descriptive variables are very important in order to make your code clear and easy to maintain. That's all in the lesson. Thank you very much.